Welcome back to another exciting episode of Degenerate Heavy Main Complains About Things That Probably Don't Matter. Now, I want to talk about the gloves of running urgently, the GRU. Now, a few years ago, it was almost impossible to look at any discussion of the GRU and not see some extremely intelligent response from someone that understands heavy balance very well, saying that it was overpowered for removing the heavy's only weakness. Or maybe even just saying it removed one of the heavy's only weaknesses. This is one of those statements that makes more sense the less you think about it. Just to reiterate, I'm going to be talking about pre-nerf GRU, and not the unholy abomination of a slot better left for the fists of steel it is today. Now on paper, it checks out. Heavy's a high damage, high health class with low speed. Changing that speed to be on par with classes like Sniper or Engineer is powerful, so it's overpowered, end of discussion. However, rollout mobility and general mobility are two completely different beasts, and the mobility that keeps Heavy in check is completely untouched by the GRU. Remember, Heavy suffers hard from being at a distance. High bullet spread and fall-off work together to turn the most powerful DPS weapon in the game into a light tickle at a distance. How well the Heavy can keep people in his optimal range determines how well the Heavy will end up doing, and this is what this slow speed keeps in check. His ability to absolutely mow people down in an instant if they run into him. Shortly though, let's talk about that rollout mobility. It brings the Heavy's rollout to just slower than a Sniper, and he's already a class that has problems if someone catches him running to the front lines because he's not going to be pre-revved. Making him take mini crits in that situation as well is just a free kill for whoever runs into him. And as slow as the Heavy's base movement speed is, remember, it's reduced to a little less than half of that when revved down. Yeah, that's right. Heavy takes just over a 50% speed penalty when revved down, and he was already lacking for speed before. Because being revved down is a requirement to fire your gun, and thus to actually kill someone, this is not a downside that can be gotten around by the GRU at all. But, admittedly, mobility has other useful tools as well. A key strength in Scout's move speed, Soldier's rocket jumping, and Demo's sticky jumping is that they can put these classes into their effective damage ranges. The GRU, meanwhile, completely fails at this. Being forced to take mini crits as you try to close the distance is suicide unless the enemy is utterly clueless to you. I mean, just look at how hard 6s will ban anything that gives mini crits on airborne targets, so just the reserve shooter. But to make things worse for the Heavy, then he has to rev down his gun, which he also has to switch to before it, and you're going to just be a sitting mini crit taking duck as your entire health pool is chewed away and your targets have time to revert some of that distance closing you managed to gain. You can't even use it to chase down foes running from you because anyone with a brain realizes how useless a mini crit taking Heavy with his melee out is, and you're basically screaming at them, "Alright, you ran away because I was winning, but here, please reverse that and kill me right fucking now." You just can't get in, or keep people in your optimal damage range with the GRU. Times 10 is actually quite good at showcasing just how nuts being able to remove that weakness is. In a mode where you have crazy shit like 315 base damage direct hit, Demo Knight running around at the move speed cap with 425 health with a splendid screen one-shotting most classes, and a melee range bigger than you tell women you are, Pyros that air blast you halfway across the map and get environmental kills by accident, and let's not forget everything that's fair and balanced about Times 10 Spy, Heavy moving really fast with a stock minigun is still one of the most dangerous and powerful things in that mode. That's what removing the Heavy's weakness looks like. Okay, but what about using this mobility to escape? Like the Soldier's escape plan. Both even have the same downsides. Well, for one, at low health, the escape plan is a 60% speed boost, unlike the GRU's 30%, on a class that already had more base move speed than Heavy to begin with. Plus, the Heavy's pesky rev down also rears its ugly head again, forcing the Heavy to take the time to unrev before he switches to his melee, unlike the Soldier who can just switch at any time. Now you might say, sure, a soldier can rocket jump, so the escape plan isn't giving as much as I'm giving it credit for here, but remember, the health that would bring a soldier to run away at scout speed with the escape plan is the same health that the soldier would turn himself into a true American hero if he attempted a rocket jump. In short, a fairly balanced Heavy got nerfed to the ground because Sixes doesn't want Heavy to be viable full-time, and someone convinced Valve balancing around that was a good idea. I'm really feeling that trickle down, that strong trickle of Girardi all over my gloves.